Hey everyone, this is Madeline Clark, and today I'll be going over my proposal to reduce the drug shortage crisis. Drug shortages affect patients around the world. In recent years, the number of drug shortages has been steadily increasing and has attracted national attention. Drug shortages not only affect the patient, but it also affects their families and the healthcare providers. When a drug is in shortage, the healthcare providers must look to alternate treatment plans, which can negatively impact the patient, but also be fatal. With drug shortages escalating to emergency levels, we must urgently find a way to reduce or stop the problem. Drug shortages have a variety of causes, but most of them are linked to issues in quality during production. So, unavailability of raw materials. Raw materials are a vital part of producing drugs, and any impurities in these raw materials can lower the effectiveness of the drug and the safety of the drug. Natural disasters can destroy these raw materials. Natural disasters can cause a sudden shortage of these materials, and the manufacturers will be put in sudden situations where they do not have the correct supplies. Manufacturer decisions is also a cause of drug shortages because manufacturers can decide to stop producing a drug if they feel that the profits are insufficient and the investment is no longer benefiting them. And without anyone else to produce these drugs, the patients will go without the medications that they need. Some more causes of the problem are manufacturing decisions. If there are a small number of manufacturers that produce a specific drug, another company will not be able to compensate for their shortcomings. That also kind of goes along with unexpected demand. If an outbreak of a rare disease occurs, these manufacturers may not be able to keep up with the sudden shortfall. Disruptions in labor, recalls of a drug, a doctor changing their clinical practices, as well as restrictions in distribution can disrupt labor. Manufacturing drugs is complex, and can be easily disrupted, which can cause a shortage with little notice. So what are the effects? They affect every patient, and the severity of the patient's condition can increase. So lower patient quality or healthcare quality. No matter what the situation is, the healthcare providers will be forced to kind of change their treatment plan and look to alternative treatments, which will ultimately reduce the patient care. This is especially a concern in high-profile cases. The financial impact. Doctors may not be familiar with these new treatment plans, and it may not even be successful and will cause patient stress. Gray market distributors are also kind of an effect of drug shortages. So when drugs are not available through normal channels, patients will look to the gray market. The gray market is a parallel market that, while it's legal, it's not regulated by the manufacturers. The gray market will kind of try to predict a drug shortage, buy these drugs and dramatically mark up the price. If the patient has no other choice but this specific medication, they are forced to pay this price no matter how large of a payment they must pay. There has been some attempted solutions to go along with the drug shortage crisis. The Obama administration proposed a solution to strengthen the role of the FDA. The FDA is currently very limited in what they can do in response to a shortage, and they tried to kind of open the FDA's kind of power, but the FDA still does not have enough power to manage the drug shortage crisis. Large organizations have tried to come together and kind of decide what causes the shortage and what the effects are. And while this is useful information, no action has taken place. So there has been some proposed solutions. One of them is to regulate the gray market. If we can monitor these prices, then maybe we can stop the halt of inventory. Another one is the grant of temporary authorization to foreign markets and approve pharmaceutical products from Western European countries. This would allow European countries to lessen the burden on U.S. manufacturers. A drawback to this, though, is that many countries do not have the same quality control protocols as the U.S., which would compromise patient safety. My proposal is that the federal government should mandate and monitor the production of drugs that are most frequently underproduced to assure that adequate levels are maintained. So here's why this is an effective solution. This ensures that the vital drugs will be available when they are needed. It'll give the FDA the necessary strength to make an impact and make sure that that drugs will be available. It also removes any inconsistencies and inefficiencies with an unregulated system. It's proven that a free market solution is ineffective in resolving drug shortages. So the goals of this proposal is to ensure that adequate levels of vital drugs are maintained, reduce overall health expenditures by lowering drug costs and labor expenses. This will improve patient safety, and it'll allow the manufacturers to have a sustained profit, the ones who provide the drugs, for those who provide the drugs. So what are the steps of this solution? The most crucial step is to seek legal authority. Several healthcare associations can exert their power and influence to lobby the passing of the bill. Another powerful influence will be getting voter approval. Voters will be compelled to support the bill by assuring lower drug costs. This is feasible because with a fixed price for the drugs, the patients will be enticed along with the manufacturers, because this proposal includes tax breaks for the manufacturers to kind of offset some of the research and development expenses for the drug. Along with the tax breaks, they'll also be given exclusive patents, which will extend from 5 years to 25 years, so they'll be earning the money back. We will also need to develop a streamlined supply chain procedure. This will establish a national database to monitor drugs. So hospitals, pharmacies, medical practices, and other healthcare institutions will work directly with the manufacturers to make sure that the producers and consumers can communicate to know which drugs are in shortage and which ones aren't. The final step will be to make sure that the FDA has a greater role in this. The FDA can kind of oversee and make sure the manufacturers are held accountable. This is a feasible solution because it overcomes any current roadblocks to resolving the drug shortage crisis. It also makes sure that there's adequate funding. It'll increase patient safety and make sure that they can get the drugs that they need more easily. So the drug shortage crisis affects patients across the United States. Without the proper medications, the patients will not get the treatments that they need. We know that there are a variety of causes to drug shortages, but most are tied to quality control issues and decisions by manufacturers. The shortages have been becoming worse over the past 2 decades, so we must resolve this problem. Federal government mandates and oversight of the drug production process provides a feasible solution that overcomes current roadblocks to resolving the drug shortage crisis in the United States. Here are my references.